I'm going to bore the holes now, and I start off with the stretchers, and I got my little jig here that I lock it into. It's just a little 3-peg holding system and has V-blocks added to it, and then I added a mirror to it. There's some rare earth magnets here to grab the bevel square right like that, and then I can just look in the mirror and see it. So it's pretty simple system. So I got the arrow pointing towards me, acute angle. I'm going to look straight over the top and get top dead center there. Now throw my block in there. I see what I need to get. The way this thing drops down, I always take a little block and stick it right there. I'll have to do that, so pardon me a minute while I get that. Now I got my block. So, okay, now get the top dead center there, side over it, and tap that in. So now I'm looking just right at 84. So get my bevel square and set it at 84. And I always double check. Slide that on. Now, there's a variety of ways that I drill this hole, and I'm actually just going to show you 2 of them right now. So one of them's with this Cook's patent bit, this strange auger bit that was made in the 1850s. So that's the way I'm going to drill the first one with. I'm going to lean back to the angle. So it's 84, got this set at 84, and I've lined up the back of the bit with the front of the square. Okay. I've got a foul mark on the side of that bit, and I was watching it in the mirror. So let's see where that puts me. I believe that'll be good right there, inch and an eighth. So I always slide the bevel square off. And get this out, and now I'll put in the other one and drill it while you aren't looking. Well, I've got the holes bored in the 2 stretchers, side stretchers, and now I'm going to bore the holes in the legs. So you got to watch out for those bird's beaks. You'll break them off on these V-blocks, and just look over and get it top dead center. And that's 72, looking right at me. Now the advantage of that, I don't have to look over a piece of paper and try to figure out what leg I have here and all that. So at least I make a lot less mistakes with that. Okay, that's at 72. So since probably most of you all will be using cordless drill, I'm going to show you how to drill with it. So what I got is a brad point, and I've got a long point on that brad point. Some people grind their own, and they can make that point as long as they want. This one's made by a company in the U.S. up north, Fuller, I believe, up in New England somewhere. It's a good bit. So like that. Now this is a steep angle, so what I'll do first is pull back, achieve the angle, and set the bevel square up to where it's hitting right on the back of the bit and the front of the bevel square. But I can't start into it right like that. It either walk with me or pull out a chip up there or whatever. So I have to start part way up. I don't need to start all the way up, but I start part way up, and then whenever I score the hole, then I just spin on the point and pull back and get the angle that I want. Now how am I going to tell how deep I am? I got a mark on there? Yeah, I got a mark on there. Big fat thing, so I don't know if it's the bottom of the mark, top of the mark, middle of the mark. I might have to measure to find out. And when you drill full power. And this half power stuff, that's for screwing in screws. It's full power, just don't push so hard. And you always, when you're coming back, you always have the bit running. You don't pull back without the bit running. You break tip off of it, do all kinds of stuff. Let's see, where's my little black mark? There it is, I believe I'm plenty deep. Yeah, I'm a little deep. That's okay, I'll just go to my line. I usually like to just nail 1 1/8 inches on these, but I'm 1 inch and what was that? That was deep. 1 1/4 inches, so I'm 1/8 deep. Okay, I'll do better on the next one. So I'll go ahead and drill these other 3, and then we'll come back and glue them up. Well, ready to glue up, got all the holes bored, and I've got my hide glue over here. I use hot hide glue. It's for those of you who use hide glue and want to know about it, it's 192 gram strength, or maybe that's not what they call it, but 192. And it's got 20% urea in it by volume. No, 20% urea in it by weight is what it is. And of course my glue pot's over there, but the water's still hot in it. I use it as like a double boiler. So pull it out and do it. But I'd use whatever glue you're familiar with and use besides probably the yellow glue. It doesn't give you as much open time as what you need. So either white glue or liquid hide glue would probably be your best choice. Alright, so now I've got it down here on the lower level where I can whack on this thing. Then right like that. I'm going to put the center stretcher in. So if I'm keeping the growth rings perpendicular with the long wood fibers, I've got 4 choices of how I could put it in. Right like that. So choose one of them. And I got a little bit of water here, and I'll wash it off. Now, if I'm doing a natural chair, I don't do this, but you know, because it'll spread the glue around and get it, and it won't color even. Oh, look at that! I didn't get that all the way down. I thought I did. Wow. That did it right there. We put on better glasses, I guess. So here, you got 2 things to look out for. Well, one thing to look out for, and that's just getting it in there right. But two things are going to tell you. One of them is you want a trapezoid instead of a parallelogram. And the other is the numbers will be on the same side. So I ought to be able to look there and see the numbers and the numbers because they're both on the bottom. I'm going to take the dead blow since I'm hitting the side. And now I can line them up as I'm hitting it. Don't try to move it unless you're smacking it. So I'll put a little pressure on it if I need to straighten it up. And there we go. We should be there. Yeah. And get the water off of it. Okay, now we're ready to put the legs on, so we're going to move over to the seat. We're ready to put the tenons in the legs now, so got the stretcher system laying down right here, and I see that that's number 4, that's number 4, 1, 2, and 3. That's always nice when it lines up like that. I really hate it when it doesn't. Now, one thing that we don't know, let's put this leg in, is we haven't calculated that angle right there, which would be kind of splay angle. A bunch of ways you can do that. You can mark it, which is my least favorite, because just the least off over here is way off over here. I can just kind of side it and tap it in, and then take it over here and knock it in, and that's a good way to do it. I used to do that all the time, just make sure you got it even with the seat. But recently I've been doing it another way. So I put the other leg in, not like that, and let's see what we got here. That's lining up good. Yeah, so there we go. That's the way it's going to go in. And I have to move a little bit faster this way because I'm putting glue on 2 tenons and 2 mortises. But I can do that, put glue on 2 tenons, 2 mortises, and I'll tap it in. And if the joint's loose enough, which it's probably not, I can tap it all the way in just in place. What I'll probably have to do is tap it in a little bit and then pop it out and take it over to my little jig holding gizmo and knock it the rest of the way in. So let's move that out of the way. And okay, let's go. Let's go with it. So I've got Now one danger would be twisting this and messing up my angle there. So that's why I hold it right here instead of out here somewhere, because I don't have any leverage over it. There we go. Now I'll get my water can back over here. Now, ought to just be sitting right in front of the hole, right along that line right there, if it's right. Now, I'm just going to remove these. And now we've got to figure out that splay angle with these. There's a few ways you can do that. You might be able to put those in there and do the same thing I just did back here by knocking them in like that, but it doesn't quite go as easy. So what I usually do there is just put this in as a dummy and side across them and see what the difference is in their splay, and then side across this one, see what the difference is in the splay. Just kind of memorize it, and those line up pretty good. Let's see these, what they do. Yeah, those are pretty lined up. So I'm just going to just line it up as I knock it in. So we'll go back over here, this spot. Make sure you got the right leg. I always check even after I put it in. I see that's 3. I even pick this one up and look at it and make sure, okay, that one says 4. That one's got to be 3. And then you look in here, I've got tenon number 3, and it's going in right like that. I'm just going to line them up and use that dead blow there. Okay, my glue over here. That looks good. I believe I got it. Now we got the last one, number 4. There, looks good. Okay, let's go back over to the seat, see how it fits. So if we just set it up on top, it ought to be sitting just right in front of the holes, right along the siding line. And it's close, not perfect. Pop it out right like that, do a little dry run with it. Looks good, fills up everywhere. So I'm going to glue it up and drive the wedges in. Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to move pretty fast here. Let me get my hammer. I don't want to be looking for it. drive it in till the sound changes. Yep. There. Get rid of a little of that glue excess. And let's get the glue on my bench here. Not much there, a little bit. And let's drive the wedges in. Well, I cut the wedges, but I didn't size them this way. And we can do that. Let me get my chisel. Okay. So I like to get the wedge exactly the size of the hole. I don't like it cutting into the side of the seat any. Of course, it would have been nice if I had sized it without the leg in there. Get my glue over here. And I put glue on one side of the wedge. That's enough to hold it in there, but it leaves the other side without gluing it for kind of a fail-safe expansion joint. As that tenon expands and shrinks, it will give along that unglued surface. Probably not a safe way to pair that, but it's the way I've always done. Okay, I'll wash the glue off the top here, and then when we come back, I'll show you how I level it, chop the tops off.